my left, from Manchester, New Hampshire, weighing in at 395 pounds, the Kingpin, Brian Milonas. His opponent to my right, from Dallas, Texas, weighing in at 332.4 pounds, he asks that you all bask in his glory, the limitless Keith Lee!
Hello everyone, Joey Styles here making my Beyond Wrestling debut, and what a matchup we have, DC. You calling it a hoss fight. Sounds better than Battle of the Big Men.
I'm just hoping they don't break the ring.
Actually, there's a wager in the back. People are taking sides. Money has been exchanged as to whether or not that they will or will not break the ring. It's an ongoing bet backstage.
I certainly hope that's not the case. This is a major, major opportunity for Brian Milonas, who's a New England independent wrestling veteran. He was introduced to Beyond Wrestling as an official to try and maintain order because JT Dunn was so unruly, kept attacking the officials, and it was actually Brian Milonas that forced JT Dunn to leave Beyond Wrestling last month. JT Dunn put his career in Beyond Wrestling on the line. Brian Milonas defeated him, and he is now taking JT Dunn's spot. But man, what a test against Keith Lee, who's just been on fire this year.
Oh, big 400-pound Milonas. This is 395. I mean, really, that's not much of a difference.
Yeah, it depends what he ate for breakfast today.
Yeah, I know. Trained at Killer Kowalski's school. And, of course, big Keith Lee, trained by Killer Tim Book.
So you're saying with all the killers involved, we could, God forbid, see a death in this
Killer Kowalski versus, I didn't say that, that's awful. Killer Tim Brooks student
it could be the
versus
death of the ring.
I'm
sorry, Joey.
Killer Kowalski student, and it's Keith Lee with a go-behind and a waist lock. Good luck with that, Keith. There you go, side headlock. Probably a better idea, smaller circumference on the skull of Brian Milonas.
Something tells me that Milonas has more experience in these types of matchup wrestling people that are as big as Keith Lee. I mean, Keith Lee, on the other hand, though, you usually see him against smaller opponents. I mean, he's been a hidden gem, really only breaking out since his first match in Beyond Wrestling back at Gigantic back in May, where he came up short against Donovan Dijak. And I mean, since then, he is wrestling all over the United States. He took a chance on himself, and it has paid off in spades.
Well, you just made a good point. Keith Lee is used to wrestling opponents smaller than he is, and he's giving up 70 pounds, 70, to the Kingpin, Brian Milonas.
I think that Keith Lee's had a bit of a tougher schedule coming into this weekend, too. Of course, his tag team with Shane Taylor. They had an incredible bout against War Machine last night, who we're going to be seeing in action later on tonight against the Hit Squad.
And that should be a
talk
dream
about four
match.
more huge guys. If this doesn't break the ring, that will. We're seeing some chain wrestling out of two guys. Their combined weight is over 750 pounds.
I did not expect to see a drop toe hold into a hammerlock in this matchup. Color me surprised and delighted.
You're going to wonder, though, Keith Lee, again, he has to switch up his strategy coming into this match because, again, Brian Milonas is just not an opponent the size of which he's used to facing.
Yeah,
Can he hit some of his power moves on Brian Milonas? That remains to be seen.
Well, Keith Lee looks like he spends a little more time in the gym. I'm not disparaging Brian Milonas at all, but Keith Lee looks like he knows how to move around 400 pounds.
Of course, Keith Lee, a former arena football player, and he said, you know what, it just wasn't for him. His dream was professional wrestling. He gave it up to make money playing football. He's made his money, and he wants to give it a go in the world of professional wrestling. He's been one of the breakout stars of 2016. But I think that somebody like Brian Milonas, who really hasn't had the opportunity in his 15-year career to expand outside of New England, if he can beat Keith Lee today, that could launch Brian Milonas to a national platform. Hey,
Yeah,
big guys are back in style.
Well, there are fewer of them than there were back in the 1980s and 1990s, that's for sure. But Keith Lee is not going to be anyone's stepping stone to national fame and fortune. Then again, that was a very nice shoulder blow. Nice go behind by Keith Lee.
Oh! Oh, I think the immovable object just won.
Keith Lee just got clubbed like a baby seal.
It's the only way they can be.
And I'm sorry for anyone who's listening from Greenpeace or PETA. Well, frankly, screw you. But good Lord, what a shot. Call that a clothesline would be an affront to laundry. What a shot. God, I'm dizzy. And not just because we're calling this from the balcony.
Milonas is really taking his time here. What we've seen out of Brian Milonas is he likes to dictate the pace in the match and keep it as slow as possible. But we know that Keith Lee is very explosive. He can turn it around on a moment's notice, and despite his size, he is a very, very quick athlete. Just like that.
Well, any man of this size, once you get to 300 pounds and above, if you've got a decent punch or a decent kick, you should be able to end a fight, or a match, if you will, with one strike. And chops are on the menu tonight here in Somerville, Massachusetts. Although your mother's cooking is much better. I went over to the concession stand.
Did you get some meatballs yet?
No, I'm waiting. I don't want to be unprofessional and have marinara sauce.
Watching this at youtube.com/Beyond Wrestling. You got to come to the live shows to experience it firsthand. The atmosphere, arts at the Armory, the acoustics, the energy, everything.
This is an awesome venue. I'm having a great time. And you're right, the sound reverberates off the high ceilings, and the Beyond fans are so interactive, it's like the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and I know I'm dating myself.
Up and over. Surprising agility. This guy surprised me every time out. And snapping off a Hurricane Rana. Is this the Cruiserweight show?
Can we call that a Hurricane Rana? Bask in the glory of Keith Lee. Oh, and there's the boss man slam 2-0. Brian Milonas told me earlier while I was interviewing him, trying not to wet myself, that he looks up to big men like Boss Man and Bam Bam Bigelow, the more agile big men. And that was a beautifully executed Boss Man slam on Keith Lee, but did not end the match.
Can't discredit Brian Milonas. He can move around pretty well, too, for his size. But, I mean, in terms of that department, Keith Lee is definitely quicker.
Yeah, but 400 pounds on your fingers. Doesn't take much to break a finger. Is that a fingernail?
I don't even know what it is that just came off of him. He's trying to give it to the ref.
Oh!
I don't know. If that's a fingernail, that's a bad injury, especially because Keith Lee likes to utilize that pop-up powerbomb. He really needs the strength in his hands for that. And this is the first time we've seen anybody in Beyond Wrestling really manhandle Keith Lee the way that Milonas has.
Oh, I got $5 on the ring breaking, so I'd like to see more suplexes. Oh!
I got about $1,000 saying that. Hopefully that doesn't happen. So. I don't know if that's covered under our insurance policy.
No, broken rings are not. I've been there to witness them at ECW. You got to pay for that yourself.
All 400 pounds of Keith Lee just coming back in the, of Brian Milonas coming back in the spine of Keith Lee. Damn, I can't even imagine what that feels like. Oh, he's going to try and elevate himself? Oh.
I thought you were going to lose the bottom rope there, DC. Wow, Milonas, I like the attitude, mocking Keith Lee. I like to see that kind of confidence. Well, I'm not in the ring with him, so I like seeing it. Oh! That's a whole lot of caboose to the midsection of Keith Lee.
Could almost wonder if Milonas is getting too confident. He looks pretty comfortable right now. Of course, plenty of Keith Lee matches that you can watch for free at youtube.com/Beyond Wrestling. In fact, a match he had in this very building against John Silver, who's going to be in the main event of Midas Touch later on tonight against Michael Elgin. I know that somebody trained by Killer Kowalski like Brian Milonas studied his tapes coming into this match. But if anything, it might have been harder for Keith Lee, again, because Brian Milonas has only competed primarily in New England. For Keith Lee to come across tapes of Brian Milonas, the only match of his that's online is that match where he defeated JT Dunn.
And again, big size difference. Oh, man. Keith Lee might want to aim a little lower to take down Brian Milonas. There you go. Work the body. The body, the body, the body. Ah, goading into Milonas.
Oh,
no
way.
way. Are you kidding me? Keith Lee looking for ground zero, but Milonas just too big. Oh, wow. Low cross body, 2N. I thought that was it.
Good coverage on that pin, too. I mean, he had his full body's way across the chest. The leg was hooked. Keith Lee's just that tough.
I'm not sure how Brian Milonas could badly cover anybody.
Fair enough.
Cover half the
tell him
ring.
that.
No, he can't hear me from up here. You know, the fact that you're using a 16-foot ring is probably a good thing, because had you gone 20 feet, it might have broken. Has more
They did reinforce the ring before this match. There is a mechanism under this ring.
I did watch them do that. You're absolutely right. Had I known that, I wouldn't have bet $5.
Yeah, I don't like the way the ropes are looking right now, or the way that post is kind of bending in. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of this right now.
No. Shades of Brock Lesnar in the Big Show. Oh, Milonas landed on his feet. Keith Lee going all the way up top.
Oh, and he caught him with a crossbody.
He sure did. 2N. Oh. Wow, Milonas got that shoulder up. And Keith Lee is in disbelief.
You think he can get the pop-up powerbomb? I mean, he doesn't even do a pop-up powerbomb the way that you've seen it. He throws his opponent overhead, lands him on the shoulders, grabs him by the trunks, and elevates them almost like a last ride into a sit-out. I mean, he can, from his shoulders, he's going to be able to lift 400 pounds straight overhead. I don't see it happen, especially when you take into consideration the damage done to his hand.
Yeah, I don't think so, but Keith Lee showing great agility to land on his feet.
Yeah, if not, he would have taken out about 6 or 7 fans.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's an insurance problem. Where is Keith Lee going? Wow!
He plucked him right out of midair!
How strong is Brian Milonas?
Oh! Into the Uranagi.
2N, no!
As best as I can tell, that's Milonas' calling card. That's what he used to finish off JT Dunn last month.
Yeah, he calls it the swing vote. Get it? Selection season, and he's from New Hampshire, and although that's really a red state, but what do I know? He told me it was the swing vote. If he told me it was called My Little Pony, I'd be saying My Little Pony. Whatever you say, big man.
Oh, no. And there is one trick still up his sleeve. Was perhaps the whoopee cushion that he was looking for. And I mean, from the second rope, 400 pounds coming on your chest, that could be fatal.
Yeah, paramedics here. I don't know what Keith Lee is thinking, but that's a lot of weight. If he's looking for a superplex, that's a lot of weight to get over your head. It's a lot of weight on your lower back, on your discs, on your vertebrae. It's a good way to injure yourself.
Oh, boy.
Oh, here we go. The ring's going to break. The ring's going to break. $5. Sorry about your $1,000, but I make $5. I'll spend that on your mother's cooking. It'll be all good.
Can he get him?
No, Milonas hanging on. Too much weight. Too much weight. Milonas just had to sit back.
Sending Keith Lee crashing down.
And at this point in the matchup, a fall like that for Keith Lee may be enough to win this matchup for Brian Milonas.
Yeah, but he's not in any hurry to go for the pin. Oh, instead he was going for that whoopee cushion.
And Milonas may have pulled a hamstring or dislocated a hip. 400 pounds coming down with a leg drop or a whoopee cushion, and missing will do that at that kind of body weight.
Yeah, that would certainly hamper his ability to move around the ring if he blew out his leg right there.
This matchup may be a no contest.
If whoever gets back to their feet first is going to have the advantage. If neither of them get up, we're going to see a draw. I would hate for New England Mania to end like that.
Oh, wait a minute. Keith Lee's getting a second wind.
Referee calling off the count.
It's the fourth quarter for Keith Lee, the former football player. Ooh, Lee and Milonas throwing haymakers. Oh! Oh! I was gonna say, what's keeping these two up?
Same idea at the same time.
There you go. Keith Lee has quick hands for a big man. Beautiful side kick by Brian Milonas.
Milonas almost took himself out, though, holding on to the ropes for dear life.
It still takes tremendous flexibility to throw a side kick when you weigh 400 pounds.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Now he might be looking for a Vader bomb, a moonsault, God only knows. Oh!
A Milonas bomb from the second
That's
turnbuckle, that's it, and right shoulder up, right shoulder up. We'll call that 2 15/16, despite the fact that I've always hated fractions. Wasn't my strong suit. And Milonas now has to be thinking to himself, what do I have to do to put away Keith Lee?
Well, he landed it the first time, but maybe go to the well
Keith
one
Lee
too
is
many
up.
times. Oh, man! Right on his bones, just firing off that shot to the spine.
Heavy forearms by Keith Lee, who's now surveying the situation. No way. No way.
He's got his legs off the rope. He's struggling to hold him, though.
Yeah, Milonas just too big to powerbomb out of the corner. Now Milonas just raining down knuckles on the head of Keith Lee. Can't blame Keith Lee for trying, but 400 pounds of Milonas just throws Lee back in the corner.
Well, he's going to rethink his entire strategy if he can't hit that powerbomb now. Now going to the eyes, the referee needs to get in there. I think maybe Milonas was taunting him from that position.
No. Oh my God, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Good night.
It's over, it's over, it's over. Keith Lee just defeated Kingpin Brian Milonas.
Well, Joey Styles, thank you so much for calling the match. I hope you enjoyed your first taste of Beyond Wrestling.
I had a blast, and I think I enjoyed it a lot more than Brian Milonas did. I'm going to put my mic down now and chant Keith Lee. Keith Lee, Keith Lee.